M. Night Shyamalan and Bruce Willis are ready to team up again for Shyamalan's newest film, Labor of Love. The film, which is slated to begin production in Philadelphia in September, will feature Willis as a bookstore owner who, after tragically losing his wife, decides to walk across the country to prove his love to her. Willis and Shyamalan have worked on 2 previous films together in the past, Sixth Sense and Unbreakable. John, buy or sell the sounds of Labor of Love?
I don't know. I don't know what to do here. I'm torn. Okay, I'm gonna say I sell it, but let me tell you what I like about the sounds of it. Labor of Love is actually a script he wrote a long time ago, like before Sixth Sense. And it's not one of his massive twisty movies. It's actually about this guy who loved his wife but was constantly breaking promises to her. And then when she died, one of the promises he had made to her that they were going to do like a cross-country walk or a cross-country hike, and he never did it. So after she dies, he decides to prove his love by making the walk. Now, of course, the big twist at the end is that at the end you realize that his wife was a shoe. I can't prove that. But here's the thing. Shyamalan is a cautionary tale about something I talk about all the time. Film fans are constantly talking about studios shouldn't interfere with the filmmaker. Let them bring their vision to life, even though all the best filmmakers will tell you that studio collaboration is key to making a successful film. When you get a guy like George Lucas, who had absolutely all power and nobody he had to answer to and nobody who could say no to him, we got the Star Wars prequels. With M. Night, he went from being on the cover of Newsweek, being called, in a big headline on Newsweek magazine, the next Spielberg, to now being somebody who audiences laugh at when his name comes up in a trailer. Yep. And that studios actually hide his name from their movies now with the Will Smith film. Around Unbreakable, Shyamalan put into his contracts that he would take notes from nobody. Nobody could give him notes. That he would be the final call on everything. Nobody could tell him what to change, blah, blah. He had absolute power. And once that happens, his films became some of the worst movies in cinematic history. So, you keep getting guys like Joss Whedon who tells you, hey, Avengers would have been 3 times worse if it wasn't for the input we got from Marvel in the studio. Peter Jackson talks about how the input from the studio made Lord of the Rings better. When you get the best filmmakers in the world who always say collaboration with the studio is key, don't give me this, just leave the filmmaker alone to work his magic and his vision, because it's a collaborative effort. Filmmaking is a collaborative effort. And when you get guys like Shyamalan who decide that he's the only one, it's only his voice he needs to listen to, bad things happen. So that's a very long answer for saying, I sell this. Anyway, Dennis.
I have to sell it as well. I like Bruce Willis, but everyone knows my feelings on M. Night and all the reasons that you said. And what you're talking about, I do also think there needs to be a balance from the studio side, because I've heard some stories about X-Men Origins, of the studio getting too involved into the process.
Oh, I'm sure it goes both ways.
Yeah, so there needs to be a balance. As far as this movie's concerned, yeah, I'm worried there's going to be some sort of twist as well. Like, Bruce Willis's character is going to walk that across America, and then as he gets to the end, his wife, who's been dead, appears out of nowhere, and he, like, walks to her, and they live happily ever after, or something like that.
Yeah, something crazy. Aaron?
So I'm actually going to buy this, surprisingly, because I really like the idea of the story. Not only that...
It is a nice sounding story.
It does. The log line is compelling to me. It's something that I would want to know more about. Not only that, but I think it's a good time in his career to do something that's not supernatural. I think that there's a space or an opportunity for him to kind of transition into a whole nother genre, and this might be his way to do it. I think that it's an interesting proposition. I don't hate it. I also love the fact that it was written and sold in about the early 90s, before he was a director, before he was famous, which tells me the script is probably good. So for those reasons, I'm going to go ahead and buy it.
I can't blame you for that.
If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to AMC Movie News on YouTube. It's free and a great way to stay updated with all the latest movie news, and check out our daily show, AMC Movie Talk. Also, don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter to stay in the loop for our special prizes, giveaways, and contests.